Assalamualaikum and hi. Today our organization, which is the Great Green Club, will present about the issues such as land pollution, air pollution and water pollution. First thing first, I would like to introduce our organization and the member of the team. Our organization name is the Great Green Club, which our mission is to protect and preserve the environment for present and future generation through advocacy, education and action. We strive to create a sustainable and healthy planet by addressing pressing environmental issues and promoting responsible practice.
And pledges to keep enhancing its environmental performance. This entails establishing challenging goals, routinely assessing and tracking progress, and changing tactics and procedures in response to new information and technology development.
Next, our team consists of 4 people, which is Izzatul Aisyah, Siti Nadia, Ilana Natasha, and Lasni Aida Fazira.
Since the 1990s, some research has persisted in concentrating on these more important structural trends and problems related to the interaction between the environment and the global political economy. The World Trade Organization, WTO, the North American Free Trade Agreement, the IMF and the World Bank are only a few examples of the international economic regimes and organizations that have started to attempt to address environmental challenges according to one body of research. The technology effect assumes that the implementation of more environmentally friendly industrial methods will have a favorable impact on commerce and FDI. A country's environment may be positively or negatively impacted by changes in its sectoral composition as a result of trade and FDI. For example, shifting from agriculture to industry may result in higher energy use and air pollution, while shifting from industry or agriculture to services is anticipated to result in less environmental degradation. So, through its impact on well-being, economic globalization may affect a nation's natural ecosystem. It is stated that international economic integration, which is openness, in particular enables nations to specialize in those areas where they have a comparative advantage and, as a result, enables a more effective allocation of resources. The welfare-improving benefits that follow lead to higher national incomes for nations. As stated at Figure 1, in the long run, it can be argued that these increases in general welfare lead to a rise in a demand for public good provision, as the demand for most public goods such as better environmental quality, education, or healthcare usually increases with growing income. In the short run, however, the effect of an increase in income depends on the current income level of the respective country. In conclusion, according to optimistic claims that economic globalization boosts well-being and that this, in turn, quasi-automatically leads to improved environmental protection, both theoretical and empirical evidence clearly show that economic openness has a negative impact on the environment. However, the scientific literature on the trade-environment nexus has produced convincing theoretical and empirical findings that point to circumstances under which environmental damage resulting from economic globalization can be minimized. In contrast to pessimistic claims associated with a race to the bottom logic and pollution habits. That's all from me.
So the first one is land pollution. Greenpeace is an organization to advance world peace, save the environment, and support a number of environmental concerns. A group of activists who were opposing nuclear weapons testing in Alaska created in 1971 in Vancouver, Canada. Greenpeace worked to raise awareness of environmental problems and advance solutions via direct actions, lobbying, and research innovatives. The group is famous for its peaceful and aggressive style of activities, often holding rails, blockades, and other prominent events to draw attention to environmental danger. The first one is e-waste. E-waste, or known as electronic trash, inappropriate recycling and disposal has been a target of campaign by Greenpeace. When not treated appropriately, hazardous materials like lead, mercury, and other dangerous compounds included in e-waste can leak into the land and water. Greenpeace has advocated for improved recycling infrastructure, more producer accountability, and a decrease in the use of hazardous materials in electronic devices. For example, Greenpeace has collaborated with Philips Sambalu, where they made an art titled After That. This artwork was made from created by tens of thousands of pieces of electronic garbage, including mobile phones, and is shown at a Car-Free Day event in the Jakarta financial sector. According to the United Nations University, Indonesia produced the most electronic garbage in Southeast Asia in 2014, amounting to roughly 745 kilotons. So for the second one is plastic pollution. Greenpeace has taken a leading role in bringing attention to the problem of plastic pollution, which has an impact on both land and marine habitats. To bring attention to the scope of the issues, the organization has promoted the decrease of single-use plastic, argued for plastic waste restriction, and organized beach and river cleanup campaign. As the evidence, Greenpeace created a website to raise awareness about plastic and what plastic could damage the environment, and also how to prevent from plastic pollution that could lead to climate change. And lastly is toxic waste. Greenpeace has waged a campaign to stop the unauthorized disposal of hazardous waste on land. For instance, Greenpeace revealed the industrial nations' dumping of hazardous trash in undeveloped nations in the 1980s. In order to stop such practice, the organization urged for tighter controls and enforcement of existing laws. For example, huge quantities of hazardous trash are kept in storage on the outskirts of Kiskunhalas in circumstances that may even be worse than those at the infamous Iletus roadside in Budapest. In addition, there is another unlawful hazardous waste nearby in a Natura 2000 region at a forest edge. Paint a solvent remnants, rusted open barrels full of liquid, and potentially harmful veterinary waste may all be found here. So, Greenpeace Hungary, together with local green NGOs, Vasarju Conservation Foundation and Stimated Association, they take action by creating a banner and post it on website to protesting and create awareness about the toxic waste.
Secondly, one of the environmental issues that has happened is air pollution. Air pollution, it refers to the contamination of the Earth's atmosphere by harmful gases, particulate matter, and other pollutants. Industrial emissions, vehicular exhaust, burning of fossil fuels, and agriculture activities are major contributors to air pollution. Moreover, air pollution damages vegetation, contributes to climate change, and impacts the overall quality of life. The causes of the air pollution is by burning fossil fuels like petroleum and coal, burning of wood, and cow dung, cakes in homes, factories, vehicles, and power plants. The international organization that best suited to assist in resolving air pollution issues is the World Health Organization, WHO. WHO works worldwide to promote health, keep the world safe, and serve the vulnerable. Their goal is to ensure that 1 billion more people have universal health coverage, to protect 1 billion more people from health emergencies, and provide a further billion people with better health and well-being. The reason why World Health Organization can resolve the issues of air pollution is because WHO provides technical support to WHO's member states in the development of normative guidance, tools, and provision of authoritative advice on health issues related to air pollution and its sources. Moreover, WHO monitors and reports on global trends and changes in health outcomes associated with actions taken to address air pollution at the national, regional, and global levels. To be said, WHO has created guidelines and standards for the air quality. Hence, WHO develops guidelines and sets health-based standards for air quality and has set SMART for benchmark for governments to establish and enforce air pollution regulations. By providing clear targets for air quality improvement, the WHO empowers countries to adopt effective policies and measures to reduce pollution levels and protect public health. With monitoring and reporting on the current issues, it will help to take the action more quickly. Furthermore, WHO plays a crucial role in health risk communication related to air pollution. It provides guidance on communicating the health risks associated with poor air quality to policymakers, healthcare professionals, and the general public. By raising awareness and promoting behavior change, the WHO encourages individuals and communities to take steps to reduce their exposure to air pollution and protect their health. At the same time, WHO can launch targeted public awareness campaigns to educate individuals about the health risks associated with air pollution. Thirdly, the international organization that best suited to assist in resolving water pollution issues is the United Nations, UN. UN can facilitate the development and implementation of international frameworks and agreements to address water pollution. The United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, and the United Nations Development Programme (UNDP) work with member states to establish policies, guidelines, and standards for water quality and pollution control. Other than that, UN can raise awareness about water pollution and its consequences among governments, communities, and individuals. It can develop educational campaigns, disseminate information, and promote behavior change towards more sustainable water use and pollution reduction. By highlighting the importance of clean water for human health, ecosystem, and sustainable development, the UN can foster a sense of urgency and encourage actions to mitigate water pollution. Hence, with raised awareness, the government can take actions more actively and the issues will spread and can help on spreading about the campaigns that has been made for water pollution. In the meantime, UN can establish mechanisms for monitoring and reporting on water quality and pollution levels globally. It can develop standardized methodologies for water quality assessment, establish data sharing platforms, and regularly publish reports on the state of water pollution worldwide. This assessment can help track progress, identify areas of concern, and inform policy decisions and interventions.
The body of legal concepts, regulations, and practices that govern the relationship between states, international institutions, and persons in the international community is referred to as international law. It is a framework for regulating different aspects of international relations, such as diplomacy, trade, human rights, armed conflict, environmental preservation, and others. Plastic pollution has since become one of the most serious threats humanity faces. By 2050, 16% of all plastic ever produced had become plastic waste. And in today's world, plastic waste is ubiquitous, it's in the air, in the soil, in fresh water, and in the sea. One of the international law which the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) World Commission on Environmental Law (WCEL). This international law is a global network of legal professionals and practitioners dedicated to supporting the creation and successful implementation of international, regional, and national environmental legislation. It is one of 6 expert commissions of the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN), the world's premier conservation group. There are some ways in which the WCEL's implementation contributes to addressing this issue. The WCEL supports countries in strengthening their legal frameworks for managing plastic waste. This includes assisting in the development and revision of law, regulations, and guidelines that address the production, use, disposal, and recycling of plastics. It also helps in capacity building efforts to enhance governance mechanisms and the enforcement of plastic waste management regulations. The financial mechanisms could be created in a way that helps states in need of financial support across a number of activities. Given the complexity of plastic pollution and the reaction to it, the financial mechanism should adhere to the principles of equity in lending and financial aid and give priority to those governments most in need of support in order to reflect the effects and hazards of plastic pollution on small islands in developing countries. Women have collectively pledged to slow global warming over the last several decades. Despite increased diplomacy, the world is already experiencing the effects of climate change, which are expected to worsen. Countries agreed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions through the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement is an international treaty adopted in 2015 under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change (UNFCCC). These are examples of a country that is reducing greenhouse gas emissions through the Paris Agreement. Firstly, United States, by 2025, reduced economy-wide greenhouse gas emissions by 26 to 28% below 2005 level, with the best efforts to reduce emissions by 28%. Next, China, which peak carbon emissions no later than 2030, increased non-fossil fuels to 20% of energy mix and reduced carbon emissions per unit of GDP by 60 to 65% of 2005 level 2030. Aside from that, water pollution is one of the major environmental issues that affects not only human health but also wildlife and our entire environment. There is many ways on how international water law helps address water pollution. The idea of protecting other riparian states from significant harm is established by international water law. According to this principle, states must take actions to stop the pollution of shared water resources which could have an adverse effect on nations downstream. It promotes collaboration and the adoption of uniform standards to reduce pollution from a variety of sources, such as agriculture, runoff, and industrial discharge. Next, provisions for establishing water quality standards and guidelines are frequently included in international water law. Agreements and conventions may outline acceptable pollutant levels as well as offer instruction on appropriate methods for monitoring and assessment. Even in transboundary water courses, these standards aid in preserving and protecting the quality of the water.